Hello guys and welcome to Garage Gamers, or in which case today...
Lounge Room Gamers!
If you're going to do Lounge Room Gamers, I mean that's where everyone plays video games. It doesn't make this video very interesting if we're doing a video game show in a lounge room. Or living room, we should say.
Well, this sweet-ass background that we did on a green screen is amazing.
Yeah, green screen. I think we need like a new intro or something, because like if you're doing this video in a living room, it should have like its own little kind of intro, like I don't know, theme it up with a bit of kind of nice fancy music, because things are getting fancier now. Just
the family sitting on the couch watching TV, just like.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, think about it. We've just upgraded from the garage for this episode. We're used to being garage gamers, but today we're like living room. That's like a level above.
Yeah, I feel
like
privileged.
Stepping up from underground.
Yeah.
Like need some chorus going, living room gamers, something like that. Do you want to hit us in with a bit of a tune?
No.
So I guess we haven't upgraded that far.
No.
Okay, all right. We're working there. We're working. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. We are the Garage Gamers, as we've just discussed. I am IceCube, and this here is
Zorbz,
and we are going to talk about today. What are we going to talk about, Zorbz?
We're going to talk about. Whoa! I'm so dark at the moment. We are going to talk about. What are we going to talk? We're going to be talking about our favourite games for the first half of the year, because we're doing 6 months to go.
We're doing the half-year review.
Yeah, half-year review.
The half-year review. It's now July. We've gone through January to June, and we're just going to discuss how the first half of 2016 has gone.
A couple of our favourites, a couple of our most disappointing moments.
Yeah, and we're going to be quite brutal, I think, as we always are.
Yeah, actually, I've got some in there.
Yeah. So to get things kicked off, what have you thought overall of 2016 so far as a start?
Well, it's funny because most of 2016 I've been playing games that were in 2015.
That's a bad start.
Because, for example, what did we have last year at the end of the year? Witcher 3, not Witcher 3, but that game goes forever. So I'm still playing that.
My timeline is skewed. Like, I don't know what happened yesterday.
You had Fallout 4 and all that come out at the end of the year. And
yeah.
Battlefront, for all those people who are playing that.
Yeah.
You know, for everyone who plays a Call of Duty.
Yeah, but forget that.
This year, you know, I'm just saying, but like those games came out all together and right at the end of the year, so by the time you get free time, it starts merging into the start of the year. But we did have some good ones come out, so I feel it's been pretty good. Some AAA ones, especially on the Sony front.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I think it's been a bit like you. It's been pretty good. Could have been better.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. It's kind of mid-tier for me so far. It's an okay start to 2016. It's the games that are coming up that I'm a bit more worried about, but we'll see how they fare.
Yeah,
so
I'm a bit more skeptical, about the end of the year.
Yeah, after our E3 review, which if you haven't watched it, make sure you go back and watch it. At least I was super skeptical about many things, and you were to some degree as well.
All the things I liked seem to be coming out next year. So far, right?
Well, that's, whenever you see something at E3, just presume it's coming out 6 years later. So.
Yeah, pretty much. See it at every E3 for the next 6 years, that's for sure.
So to get things kicked off, we are going to go through what we think are our personal favourites, top 3 games from the first half of 2016.
Check out my sweet Sonic shirt.
Yeah, we're rocking the gaming shirts today. I got the Witcher.
Just
going on. He's throwing his wallet away. If people are scrambling for it, you just can't see them off camera, they'll try to get it. So Zorbz, tell us, what's your favourite game of 2016 so far?
I would say...
Or at least
I'm
your
third
favourite.
Yeah, it's third favourite. I would say Quantum Break.
Quantum Break.
Did you play it?
Yeah, no, I haven't played that one yet. I really wish I did.
Backhand. Right for IceCube, right?
So I guess it was good then?
Yeah.
I heard some complaints about it.
Oh, there's complaints about everything.
True.
I thought it was awesome. I thought the TV show was actually really good. And it's funny because you play chapters of the game to get to the next episode. And funnily enough, you'd think that you'd be more excited about getting to the chapters of the game while the episode's on, but I found myself wanting to watch the episodes of the show. They were equally as good as each other. Gameplay, there was minimal gameplay. Like, I feel like it wasn't that long. I didn't feel like I was playing much. But
Did you get more control than what you would in something, say, Beyond Two Souls or one of those
it's
Quantum
basically
Theory games?
If you've played Max Payne, you've played Quantum Break.
Alright, it doesn't more than enough gameplay in those games.
Yeah, because you can slow down time, which is basically like bullet time, which they're known for. So
yeah, okay.
And Alan Wake, you know, it's that same third person.
It's done by the same people that did Alan Wake.
Yeah.
I said before, I really would rather they just do another like Alan Wake 2 in this situation than do. And why is it that my favorite developers are doing new games and new IPs, and the ones I really want to that I want them to stop doing what they're doing and come up with some new ideas, they're just repeating the same old crap each time.
I don't know.
They're just silly people. Anyway, so Quantum Break. My third favorite is. It's a tough one because we're saving one that we both like for the end of this, right?
Yeah.
So that bumped up my third favorite to one which I didn't love, but I liked and I enjoyed, and that's one that some people were kind of hit or miss on. And Mirror's Edge for me was the third one for me. It was. I was a little bit unsure at first. I had my complaints. It's a dry scenery, nice but dry. The story and script pretty horrible, but by the end, it's actually got a really good ending, and I really like Faith as a character, and I really enjoyed the gameplay. Like I actually thought, in terms of doing the parkour from first-person perspective, they did it really well. Plus, they enabled you to change the vision so that you could zoom out your vision, so you could A, get more peripheral vision, and B, not get like massive head spins when you're doing these parkour rolls on the floor from first person perspective. I thought that was great.
Fair enough. I have no comment because you'll find out later.
Is this your review of Mirror's Edge?
You will find out in this video later.
Okay, well that's the positives. I guess we'll hear the negatives sometime soon. What's your second favourite, Zorbz?
I'm going to go with a small title, Oxenfree. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, you mentioned this one before in a previous episode.
I didn't think I would. I had no idea what it was. Everyone was saying, oh, it's got a really good story, and it's a supernatural story. Like, it's got a bit of a twist, and it's one of those games where the ending leaves you going like, what just happened? And it gets you thinking, and it's really cool. And because it's got a lot of dialogue choices, I kind of do want to play it again and see.
So was it a kind of was it a top-down view game? Was it a platformer? What kind of game was it? I forgot.
It's trying to think. It's not top-down. It's sort of like the camera's further back, and you can just see all the characters on the screen.
But it's a semi-indie title, isn't it? It's like not a big retail.
No, it's not. You
have to download it.
Yeah, it's not a big budget one. Although they probably will put it on disc. You know, they do that with a lot of the popular ones. What's the view? It's almost like, it's like you're playing an RPG. You know, where you sort of zoomed out and you're like one of those old school 2D ones. Yeah. Where you can just see the little sprites walking around.
Yeah. But you thought it was pretty intriguing overall.
Yeah, story-wise, dialogue was great. And the dialogue just keeps going as you're walking around. So it doesn't make walking from A to B boring, because that's when the conversations are happening. Yeah. So it's just a nice flow. There's
so many of these kind of smaller titles and downloadable games that I really wish I'd gotten around to play, because I haven't had time. There's only so many hours in our lives that we have to play these things, and that game and many others of the kind of downloadable variety, I really want to get around to doing. So, okay.
I like them because they're shorter.
Yeah,
because
me too.
It gives you a bit of like, there's your fix. You don't have to worry about, when I'm going to get time to play it again.
Yeah, I love having like something where the goal is in reach.
Yeah.
And that's another topic for another day, I believe. Stay tuned to Gamebug for that one. My second favourite one that I put down here that I actually enjoyed quite a bit. I've been getting a lot into The Division. Tom Clancy's The Division. Got good reviews. Most people liked it. Some people had a few issues with it for here or there reasons. But overall, I think they mostly did a very good job with it. Ubisoft don't really do... It's kind of like an MMO. It's got a lot of MMO things to it. You could sense that like they weren't able to capture the true essence of an MMO. Like the character customization, particularly for the female characters, was absolutely abysmal. I could quite happily say the worst I've ever seen in any game. But aside from that, they got the essence of it right, and it was good that you could just wander the streets, do everything solo if you want to. Sometimes you'll get AI help to go into missions. Other times you can just group up with other people and go in co-op, and you can do it with friends or meet people online. And then there's a dark zone, which I haven't even got to yet. to be honest. I've just been circumnavigating. The dark zone is this red area in the middle where people just shoot each other. Apparently it's like where it starts to really kick off. But I'm quite happily just like literally finding everything and clearing out everything in the area around it first, which has got many hours of gameplay in itself. And I'm just happily, you know, making the world a safer place from the looters.
Is there story though? Is there a story there?
There is. There actually is. And that's the strange thing for an MMO. MMO stories are usually horrendous. It's usually like, run to some character's got a mission for you. Click, 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 click through the dialogue, and then run away, do a fetch, come back, click, 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 get your reward, and then just go to the shop and just save up to buy the ultimate weapon, and it's just that constantly. Whereas this, like, that actually, there's things you can find like echo devices and voice recordings and stuff, and it all pieces together things, all the mini stories of what happened leading up to the events.
Yeah, that's what I'd be interested to find out, like what happened.
Yeah, and they really ingrain you into these personal stories when you, I mean, particularly if you, because what I'm doing the main missions and the side quests, and then when you kind of unlock an area, if you've got a certain perk, it will reveal all of the missing personal items that are around that area, and so you can literally just go and grab them as long as you can find your way into the buildings and stuff like that, and that will unlock all the stories for that area, and you can hear the stories consecutively that way, and it all kind of fits together nicely. So yeah, so
that is more than just gameplay. Like
it is. They could have used. What I think the one thing that was missing from being an excellent MMO type of game is just adding a bit more variety to your skills and development, so that you can grow your own personal character to your own touch. Right now, everyone's kind of growing the same. They're all the same. I mean, they've got different coats on and different shoes on, and they're all essentially the same looking coats and the same looking shoes and the same skills that we're all. But if they want to make it a good MMO type of game, they should really branch that tree out, so you've got completely different classes helping each other out and completely different looking characters. That would have taken it to the next level. But really good, enjoyable game. What's your number one?
Well, my number one is one that you also enjoyed, so I'm saving that for last. Because I do have another one that I really wanted to plug, and that's Ratchet and Clank 2016. It's like half remake, half like retelling, like half remake, half new sort of thing. It didn't feel.
Is it a remaster?
It's like they've taken the original story and just gone from the ground up again.
Okay.
So it has locations and stuff like that from the original and little parts that you remember. But for example, spoiler, this is in the first 5 minutes of the original Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet doesn't like Clank in the first game originally on PS2. He does in this one. So like little things that they've changed with. But the graphics are the whole, they're just so good. They are so good. If anything looks like a Pixar movie, it's that.
Really?
It's just so crisp. It's just, everything's so detailed, runs perfect, no hiccups. It's just fun. And and it came out at like a really cheap price. You know, most games come out here at 70, 80 bucks. Unless you're EB and it's 100. But this one came out at $49.95.
Alright. Wow. And
and
it's double the price elsewhere.
Full-fledged game.
Wow. Okay, well, fine. I've got no comment on that one. Yeah, fair enough. And my number one is one that if anyone is familiar with my reviews or my previous videos, it's kind of a given. Dark Souls 3 lived up to the Dark Souls hype. I love it. I love all the Dark Souls. I love Demon Souls. I love the whole thing. And this was a nice evolution from that series. I've long finished the game. I've just been craving and salivating for the DLC to come out, because I've said before in the previous episodes that the Dark Souls 2 DLC was so good, I thought it was almost better than the actual game itself, that I can't wait to see what Dark Souls 3 DLC has in the waiting for us. So this was the first Dark Souls game in the series to actually be built from scratch for the current gen consoles, whereas Dark Souls 2 was originally done for PS3 and Xbox 360. Looks crisp. I mean, it's not like kind of, you know, I don't know, Uncharted level graphics, or, you know, but it still manages its own kind of special look and feel, What I think the only thing that Dark Souls 3 could have done a bit better was add more to the amazing combat system they've got, which is just, I think, second to none. Like the combat balance, where you can just choose a class and everyone's just got their own preferred way of fighting and doing things. See, this is kind of the example I was talking about with the Division previously. You can make your own character in Dark Souls that's got a completely different identity to the other people around you. You'll have your own fighting style, your own method of defense, and your own decision to be fast or well armored or have spells. Or but also like the attack speed counts, the weight of your weapon counts.
Yeah.
Everything counts that you choose, and it's not like a matter of having, like if you've got like every weapon type has a chance to be good. It's like, but that's more like it is in real life. You know, in real life there are some weapons that are better than. In most fantasy games, you've got like, you can't ever use a dagger because that's just stupid. But everyone's just got like a long sword and they just boost that up to like.
Yeah, I mean, I use the long sword in my everyday life all the time.
Yeah, yeah, like, as we do when you go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just take out your aggression there. Yeah, look, there's so much I can say with Dark Souls 3, but that's just my favourite game so far. So,
yeah.
But there is one.
I still have to play it, by the way. I played a little bit of it and it's really good. But there's too many games.
There is.
But I'll get to it.
Does this mean backhand for you too? Or?
Yeah, I'll take one.
There is one game though that we both really have to put up there.
Yeah, this is my number one. Is it your number one or is it?
I'd put it, well, in terms of quality, it's got to be number one.
Yeah.
But in terms of my favourite, I'd probably put it number 2, behind Dark Souls. But this game is...
Yeah. Uncharted 4!
Uncharted 4, I mean, is it really any surprise that it's Naughty Dog just being Naughty Dog, just, you know, just casually pulling out the best looking game I've ever seen.
The graphics are so good. And I thought Ratchet and Clank was amazing, but obviously that's cartoony.
Yeah.
So it is still amazing. But Uncharted 4, I think it even tracks on your stats how long you've stood there just looking around. And I swear there's an hour logged on mine of just me leaving the controller and just panning over going, wow.
Well, actually, that and Dark Souls, believe it or not, that the two games which just, well, I think Dark Souls more so in terms of like scenery, amazing looking scenery.
Because it's that gothic-y architecture.
Oh, but it's so unique and atmospheric. It's just amazing. I still think that's number 1, but like Uncharted 4 from out of nowhere has just pulled that off amazingly as well. Like I was looking in awe in those distances and the mountains and stuff like that. It's great.
I don't really save screenshots, but I was screenshotting a lot in that game.
Me too. It's funny that actually these two games came out this year. We're just talking about them, and those are the two games that I screenshot for scenery.
Yeah.
So, but like I think Uncharted kind of they're a bit less. They're a bit more obvious about it.
They even have photo mode. Yeah,
photo mode. They even automatically zoom out the camera so that you can acknowledge.
They know you're going to be impressed.
We spent ages on this, check it out. Whereas Dark Souls just like, you know, I'm just going to do this amazing thing here, and if you notice it, you just notice it, you know. And meanwhile, it's just like, my God, that's amazing, So,
and story-wise, Uncharted was, again, awesome, great
they're
voice
just
acting.
constantly amazing at it. And
nice conclusion as well.
Yeah, beautiful wrap-up, and then what's the bet they do another one and just stuff it all up?
Yeah, it won't be Naughty Dog. They'll give it to some other studio, and they'll
blow it.
Although the Vita version, which they gave to Sony Ben, that was actually pretty good too.
Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't.
I don't think Sony's stupid enough to ruin a top franchise.
No, they would never do that like God of War.
They haven't ruined God of War.
I think they have.
They just got a bit stale.
God of War 3 should have been it. Like that was it. And then they did Ascension. It was just horrible.
It's not a bad game though. It's just boring because you've played all the other ones. But it's the same game, like same gameplay as the other one.
Not really. Well, maybe gameplay to a degree, but it's everything else that really counts that makes it good. I mean, the music of God of War 1 and 2, everyone just undervalues that. That just like made everything so meaty and epic. It was just so great.
And number 4 looks very different, so that's
a
good direction.
I think as I said in the previous video as well, I honestly it feels like to me like they were just making this new IP, and at the last minute they just decided to swap the main character with Kratos and call it God of War.
Because
it's just like I don't know, It doesn't suit God of War. It looks amazing, but it just doesn't suit God of War.
We'll find out in 2018. Because I don't think it's even going to come out.
I'm just going to call it now. I'm just going to review it now. Can I review it now?
No, you can't.
Alright, okay. Can't do it now.
So, we're going to go into our disappointments of the year.
This is pretty brutal because we've got most outlets, when they're doing a disappointment, they usually do a disappointment of the year. So that's twice the length of time that we've had to collate all the games. And we're going to do 3 out of 6 months. So yeah, don't be too offended if we call you out here because we are being a bit brutal and picky. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, the most recent one would be Mighty Number 9.
That's easy pickings.
I love Mega Man, so when they had that Kickstarter and Keiji Inafune's like, this is going to be the new Mega Man, and I was like, oh my god, it's going to be Mega Man. And then it went from a 2D sprite-based art style, and then they were like, no, it's actually too expensive. Then they went to 2.5D, so I was like, alright, that could work. Then the game came out, and it looks like hot trash. Like, but it's so bad looking.
I'm not super surprised. Like, I was looking at the character, it just didn't have the same... Because it doesn't have the same... Even the same concept, does it?
You defeat the bosses and you get their powers.
Do you choose who you go for?
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fair.
So in that way it is, but it's just not the same. Like it's like if Mega Man it's basically like they just got bored and just phoned it in.
Yeah, that could be it.
It took so long.
What if this creator that everyone's been praising for Mega Man actually had far less involvement with the previous Mega Man games than we all presumed he did?
Yeah.
Like, because it's like having, I mean, like, this is complete presumption, okay? So I'm not saying this is, but I'm thinking possibly, it's like when you go to work and you have a boss who does F all, and all the creative minds come from all the people that are working beneath the boss, right? And they put this stuff together and the boss just kind of goes, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then he takes all the credit for it.
Or
that could be the scenario.
He could have had the idea of, okay, this is how it's going to play out.
And then
he's not physically making it.
Yeah, and then everyone else kind of put in their input and made it as great as it is. I mean,
except for this game, which they made it as crap as it is.
Or maybe this is the game where the creator actually did have involvement with it, and then it turns out actually he's pretty shit.
But at the same time, he's making that game Recore. So I'm like, which one?
Is he doing that at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like, which one are you actually focusing on?
We've got no idea what Recore is going to be like, so...
And that doesn't look the best. It looks alright.
Yeah, I still want to play it.
Yeah,
I still want to play
it.
In fact, I'm tempted to even as far as pre-order. I'm not quite there yet, but tempted, very tempted.
Disappointment on your part?
Yeah, disappointment on my part. The first one for me, I'll say Homefront Revolution.
That's rubbish.
I just don't... First, I don't understand why they made it. Yeah. They bought the rights, I think it was Deep Silver, I think it was that did it. They bought the rights from THQ when that shut down. And yeah, that was a real gamble, I think. I thought all those titles were a bit of a gamble.
Because the first one wasn't even a big
Even
hit.
South Park was a gamble, but that paid off for Ubisoft.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It paid off for Ubisoft. I wasn't sure it would, but it did. But Homefront, look, I actually really loved the first Homefront. I gave it higher marks when it came out than anyone else I know.
But it didn't get top of the ratings from everyone.
No, I think it got. I think people kind of giving it 7s, maybe 8s, and stuff like that. I overrated it. I admit I should have probably given it a point less than it should have. But look, it was. I love the atmosphere. It was written by the guy that wrote.
Shawshank Redemption.
No, it was one of the funniest war films. I can't remember which film it was. If you know, just scream it out when you're no, it's a bit older. But anyway, so it had a good script. It was pretty dark and it was very kind of. It was a plausible what if scenario and they brought that tension and that realism to it, and that's what I appreciated from it. Graphically wasn't kind of there with Call of Duty at the time and maybe Battlefield.
Oh, I'm saying the new ones' graphics are just rubbish.
Yeah, well, the issue I had, I don't know if the graphics are so much rubbish. It was just very. It's one of those very glum first-person shooters like Resistance and Metro that just like, and even almost Killzone, where it looks good, but it's just so bland. It's just got nothing to it. It's incredibly ordinary. And like, I don't mind glum if they do glum well. like if they really kind of captured the atmosphere, but it's just like running and gunning in a very dry, ordinary world where you don't give a crap about what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's not the worst game in the world. It's just another one for the pile.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Okay. You reviewed that for Gamebug.
Yep,
Yeah.
I sure did. So for everything he said, I'm going to say the opposite.
Oh.
I think Faith sucked in that game.
Why?
Why was she good? She was just like an angsty teenager. Like she had no personality. I just didn't get anything from her. I didn't get anything from any of the characters. There's characters that die in that, and I was just like, eh.
This is why. This is why I said Faith only. I thought Faith was okay, but the rest were crap. I agree.
I only kind of like that girl, the computer whiz nerd chick. I don't even know her name, and I finished the game.
Oh, but her script was terrible.
Oh,
she was one of the worst. The script was appalling.
The gameplay was fun, but I don't think going open world is what it needed. I think a more structured environment.
I don't think it was as open world as it claimed to be. Like it was only really rooftops, and there was only like one section, maybe 2, where you could actually get your foot on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was like an enclosed area.
Yeah.
1 or 2 occasions.
Yeah, it's not as open as you think it would be.
But that's good, because any more open than that, it would have just been like, yeah.
But it's just, I just got sick of going to the same hideouts and then out, then back, and then out, and then back. But the gameplay's fun. And I was surprised at how fast it was too. Like the speed in that game was insane. People were complaining about frame rate issues. I didn't really have
nothing with frame rate
like that.
Frame rate was fine.
But just the story, like by the end of it, I was like, "Are we done yet? Like this is crap." Like it was so bland.
The story was pretty poor. The thing is, like normally I'm a story guy like you, but for me it was just the gameplay just kept me going. Like I could just keep swinging on bars and running on walls because it was so seamless, always so seamless.
But the environments just got too bland. I loved when you were going indoors and you had a bit more variety of the scenery, but when you're outside, you know, the same similar looking rooftops, it just eventually got.
You had to go through the mission to keep yourself engaged.
Yeah.
If you sidetracked with the side missions and the challenges, just don't bother. This is my recommendation. Play through the whole story first, and then if you want more, go back and do the challenges. Because not only is it just more enjoyable to keep yourself engaged going through the story, but also there's skills that you need to get to actually succeed in those challenge runs
some
anyway.
of those are cool.
And you only unlock them when you go through the story.
Yeah.
You're not. I mean, some of them you can just run to without any of these skills, but most of them you need to have like the grapple hook to charge away, and you need these things. Yeah. So.
Like I mean, it's the reason I say it's a disappointment is not because it's a terrible game, but because I love the first one.
Yeah,
and I just wanted it to be a bit more.
Yeah.
I felt it was a step back.
Fair enough. Look, it made my number 3 because I literally didn't have another number 3. But and I enjoyed it enough to put it up there. So
one last thing, the fighting though sucks.
Yeah,
the fighting.
I'm hit or miss with that.
Like those armored guys, you just kick. Run around them, kick, run around them, kick.
Yeah, but you can mix it up if you try to mix it up. You just gotta apply.
I just kept running, jumping off a building, knocking them down, then running back up, jumping off. I was just like, just get me out of this.
Well, if you're doing that, maybe I could see why it got boring. But there's other things like you can actually like run along the walls and then kick off the wall and then kick them in the head and stuff like that.
Just so
you can run and you can sprint towards them and fly kick them for the first. That's usually good.
Yeah.
Or you can slide in and kick them. You can come in with a heavy punch or a light punch.
I just felt it broke the speed though. Like I didn't.
No, well if you do the light attack when you're running, you just knock them and keep.
Yeah, I like that. I like those missions where you're running and they're there and you can just knock them out of the way. But those sections where you have to fight them.
Yeah.
To clear, like you have to clear out the enemies to move on. Those are the parts I was like, ugh.
But then again,
it was the Batmobile for me from Arkham
Knight. That's a big call.
That's what it was.
But there was only like, unlike the Batmobile, there was only
it was only
2 or 3 missions where you had to clear out an area by fighting them. Like most of them you could run through.
Yeah.
Batmobile, that's a whole story.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, fair enough. I mean, like I'm not hugely in love with it, but I overall just And what have we got to now? You're up to...
I did my second. You're
second
up to your
one.
last one.
No, my second one.
Your second one.
Because you got one more to go as well. So my second one is one called Battleborn, which I'm putting as a disappointment. But then again, like, I don't know how excited I was about this in the first place.
I was not at all.
I think my excitement for this game came from the fact that it was being made by the people who did Borderlands 2, which I just love Borderlands 2. Like, even today, like, I've gone back and finished it like 3 times, and that's a big game. And I've even tried more than 3 times to do it as well. There's something about it I just love. And when they came in with Battleborn, and they, like, to me, they just like saw, oh look, because it's basically a MOBA, as we've discussed in a previous episode. It's basically a first-person MOBA. That's what it is.
Which we don't like.
No, which we don't. But to me, they've just like gone, oh look, these MOBAs are getting lots of money. Let's do our own take on it. So to me, it just seems like a money grab, using excellent developers and giving them a game to do that's beneath them. And then we end up with Battleborn. I tell you what, guys. What's the name of the developer? Gearbox. If you're doing Borderlands 3, which I know you are, give us the character selection that you had in Battleborn. Not the same characters, but just 25 different ones, if you don't mind doing 25. I love character variety, so just chuck them in like an epic game like Borderlands, and that would be epic. That would be a good game.
I reckon.
Forget this MOBA crap. It's multiplayer. Duh.
But do you reckon Borderlands will do the Mass Effect thing where you create your own character, but it still has the dialogue no matter who you choose? So you make your...
No, it's not that kind of game.
No, but you don't think they could give you an option to make your own character?
Oh, look, I think that'd be fantastic. I would love to get my own character, but I doubt they'd do it. I think they're on a winning formula with doing the 4 character. I think they need more.
It doesn't matter.
If they want
first person.
If they want to evolve this game, they should make more than 4 characters at this stage. They did 4 for 1, they did 4 for 2, 4 for the pre-sequel, and look, they could
like
do
he
4,
said,
but
just give you 25.
25.
That's the next number up.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
425.
Just do 25. You're doing heaps of characters like enemies anyway. Just make some more goodies, some good guys. So, but anyway, look, Battleborn. Yeah, look, and you know what? I played a lot of what's the Blizzard game? The other Overwatch. Played a lot of Overwatch, and I think everyone universally agrees that Overwatch is better than Battleborn.
Game, yeah.
Part of that is just their instinctive love with Blizzard, and no matter what they do, they can't go wrong. And in fairness to it, I could see why it was popular, like why people had fun with it, and why people kind of play that constantly. But yeah, if you're coming out at the same time as that, and you don't have as good a game, you're just going to miss out.
And didn't they send a trash talking tweet saying like they were gonna smash Overwatch? I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Did they?
And I was like, oh, what? Everyone knew that they were gonna just.
To honestly, I hope they both failed miserably. Sadly,
Overwatch.
Sadly, Overwatch did not fail miserably.
They're killing it.
I just hate how that like Blizzard can't fail.
Should we do some product placement, even though we're not sponsored?
Let's not. So what's your number 1 disappointment?
Now this is number 1 not because it's crap. It's a little bit crap, but Street Fighter 5.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I am a massive Street Fighter fan. I love all of them. I love number 4 as well, which is surprising because 1 was amazing. Oh, not 1. 1 was shit. No one likes 1. 2 was where it started. 2 was good.
2 was the bomb.
3 was awesome. I love all the alphas and all the spin-offs. 4 was really really good. And then this was like, what is this? Like a demo? Like it had nothing. There was no features.
I just don't understand the lack of modes. I don't understand what they're thinking. Like
there was no story.
Why is it? It feels like all these fighting games. Like the more games they make, the less modes they put in it.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
There's like hardly any characters as well.
Except for Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
They're great.
Killing it.
They're great.
But Street Fighter's character list, there was hardly anyone there.
And same with like Soul Calibur as well. That's
good or bad?
Bad. No, well, 4 was the last fantastic one. 5 was horrible for modes. Yeah. 3 was amazing.
Yeah.
3 and 4 were just.
Even 2 was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't play 2, but probably.
2 was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but back to Street Fighter.
But yeah, it was lacking a story mode, which most games have now.
My mate had it. I think I did the story previously, so I won't go into it. But the short version of it is that he was dying to get really good at Street Fighter 5.
Endurance mode,
All he could do was survival mode constantly.
It's all you can really do.
And then he hates survival mode, but that's all he could do.
And they
had when he went online, he just get kicked, his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So
I kept fighting the same guy. Like I had like six matches in a row with the same guy, and I'm like, is there no one else online? Like, and this guy beat me, and I'm like, all right, well I guess I got to just get better to try and beat him.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. It was just a best of 6 million fights.
And how do you get better? Like only with survival mode. That's all you can do.
Just lacking. So now they've got an update for it, which I've downloaded. I haven't even tried it, but that's bad. It's months later.
But even gameplay wise, like I just felt like I was playing Mortal Kombat the same day this guy was playing Street Fighter. I was doing thousands of these cool moves and alternatives and all these different variety of things. And I got to Street Fighter and it's like 3 moves.
It's very
and there's no variety outside of that.
And they're all grapplers. There's a lot of grappler characters in it. Like they don't really do many fireballs or crazy things anymore. They're all like.
But this is partly why. This is partly why I just don't think Street Fighter is as good a fighting game as we all give it credit for. Like I was as big a fan as anybody for Street Fighter 2. I was one of the. I reckon I was one of the best Street Fighter 2 players on the SNES version in Australia. I reckon I was up there. I was picking up on the 7th, the hardest difficulty, and just clearing it through first go, guaranteed every time.
Damn.
Yeah. So by the time I played it that many times to get that good. But then from 3 onwards, I just lost interest.
Yeah.
So
but, it sucks. Beloved franchise come out with just something very mediocre.
They just got to add things to it, mate.
They're doing that, but
think logically. And there's more to these games than just the gameplay.
Yeah,
which they didn't get right up. Yeah. Look, for my number 1, I'm going to give it to Far Cry Primal.
Okay.
Now, that was a disappointment. I just had 0 care from the beginning and 0 care from the end.
Yeah, same.
I just don't. It just seems like a waste of everyone's time.
It came out too soon after the 4th one. It was just
we
were like, what is this? An expansion? Why is it coming out so quick?
I just think Far Cry is not good in general.
I like number 3 and 4. 3 was the best.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. It's hard to review badly because it actually does things fairly well. But I just never like the games, any of them.
I love number 3. I don't know.
I kind of like number 3, but as soon as I put it down once, I'll never pick it up again. You know what I mean? Like I think 3 was probably the best of them.
Yeah.
But even that, I mean, it's all there. It's open world. I like the premise. It's just, I'm never that invested into a Far Cry game, even when I push myself through it. It's almost like how you're treating Mirror's Edge. Like you're just wondering why. You're just wondering if it's over yet.
Yeah.
But with Far Cry, it's so big that it's just like, I don't know. I have no ambition to continue playing that game after I start playing it. Yet I force myself to, and it just doesn't. My ambition doesn't improve.
Yeah, I would agree with that Primal one. It's just, I don't know. It just didn't have anything.
It came from nowhere too. Like we're just
like,
Far Cry Primal.
It is, yeah.
Here we are.
You want it?
No, we don't. But also, it was just. I mean, 3 was good, but Primal just seemed like. It's honestly probably one of the more generic first-person games I've ever seen. Like there's some things you can do, like send an owl or something, or a hawk out to navigate. That's their version of the Tom Clancy drone. Yeah. And then you go around with like a spear, just in first person, just like stabbing jab people. Yeah. And then your bow, and then just like these cavemen just running at you. It's just. I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. It's in our disappointed list. Damn it!
I'm not going to do what you just did because mine were on my phone.
That would have made the video much more interesting if you were willing to sacrifice your phone. Anyway, look, for the sake of time, that's it, guys. Thanks very much for joining us for another episode of Garage Gamers, or should we call Living Room Gamers.
Ooh, lounge room, living room gamers.
I am IceCube, this is Zorbz, and thank you for joining us. It is www.gamebug.com.au if you want to find lots of cool videos and lots of fun articles, etc.
Reviews and all the
It's loaded. It's loaded with stuff. You've got to go check it out. So thanks again for your time. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And please stay tuned, watch the previous episodes, and wait for much more coming your way. Thanks, guys. Bye.